Hey guys, there are so many great AI tools out there for prompt to image generation that today I decided to have a little fun and have a shootout, and I'll let you know I was a bit surprised by the winner. So I'm going to grade these AI tools on 3 different ways. So prompt adherence, we're going to do photorealism, and we're going to go detail accuracy. So making sure things like fingers and stuff like that are correct. So I use ChatGPT to write some complex prompts to put into each of these platforms, and today I am comparing ChatGPT versus Leonardo versus Rev versus Grok versus Kling. So these are 5 of the big names in image generation that I like to use. Some of these are paid, some of these are not, so that isn't factoring into my rankings, but it is something I'll let you know just in case you're looking to use any of these. So let's dive right on into it and start with prompt adherence. So the prompt today is going to be a red vintage motorcycle parked under a cherry blossom tree at sunset with a leather helmet hanging on the handlebars. Mount Fuji visible in the background. Pink petals should be falling gently in the wind. Motorcycle should have chrome detailing, and the road should be slightly wet, reflecting the tree in the sky. So altogether, I didn't have any one of these 5 absolutely nail every single part of the prompt, so I'm going to kind of pick those apart a little bit. But altogether, I do think that Kling was the winner here. So things that Kling did really well. I liked how there's actual little pink flecks in the sky here that show that the cherry blossom tree actually has some of its petals falling. I think the chrome details on the motorcycle are excellent. We have Mount Fuji visible in the background. It's definitely kind of a sunset picture. While it's not showing the sun or anything directly, it's showing a beautiful sunset. The only drawback was the road. It looks slightly wet, but it's not showing a reflection of the tree and sky. But it was still my winner. Let's move on over to Rev. Rev is typically the strongest one when it comes to prompt adherence. And I was surprised that my Rev output, it didn't give me any of the petals falling out of the sky. Now it shows the petals already on the ground, shows this awesome puddle showing a reflection of the motorcycle and the mountains behind it. Everything looks good. The petals are on the ground. That looks great. You have the helmet on the handlebars. So again, that's good. So again, if you look at Kling, the helmet was on the handlebars. So it checked all the boxes, and I love all the chrome accents on this motorcycle. So I thought that one looked really, really good. Moving on down the line, ChatGPT here came in third. Lots of falling petals. Definitely that overall kind of I'd say a filter to it to make it look like sunset. The road's definitely nice and wet and it's reflecting, but that helmet is weird. So that's where it kind of lost me there on the helmet, because it's not quite hanging from the handlebars. It's like propped up on top of maybe like a mirror or something like that. But it is the one that looks closest to like an old school leather helmet. So I do like that. And there's not as many chrome details on this bike as I would have cared for. So that's why ChatGPT found itself in third. Leonardo, hey, you tried. It's not quite sunset. There's no falling petals. There's no helmet at all, even on the motorcycle. There's no wet pavement, but it did get the red motorcycle and put it in the scene with cherry blossoms. So, we see this a lot with Leonardo, where it's going to listen to about half of the prompt that you give it when it's a super complex prompt. So that can definitely be frustrating. And I don't really see too many chrome accents on this motorcycle. It's actually a bit more red than anything. So doing okay. Now this Grok one, I originally, when first look, I was like, oh man, this looks great. We got the cherry blossoms falling. We got the nice motorcycle. But then when you really, and you got the wet ground and everything, but then when you really start to pick apart the details, you looked at it, missed it. So first of all, you've got this helmet that's hanging on something kind of weird. That's not the handlebars. The handlebars are a bit higher, so that looks a little weird. But mostly the reason I put Grok in 5th is it's got a sunset underneath a mountain. Come on. There's no hole in this mountain showing the sunset, and this mountain isn't growing out of the clouds, so that's a complete hallucination. So that's what knocked this Grok one that might have otherwise been in 2nd or 3rd place, knocked it all the way down to 5th, because come on, what is that? So altogether, hey, Kling's off to a good start. Rev is doing great as I expected, and ChatGPT with a pretty good offering. Leonardo about giving us what we come to expect. So, all right, this next one, I jumped in to do photorealism, and honestly, This one was, it was kind of tough to determine my 1 through 5. A lot of it's just subjective, so there's some different things I'm looking for. Now Rev, where I really love where Rev nailed this was in the shadows of the wrinkles on the face. You've got the gray stubble. So first of all, the prompt: a candid photo of an elderly man with deep wrinkles, gray stubble, smiling while holding a cup of coffee in a dimly lit cafe. Blurred lights in the background. The table shows soft wood grain texture and steam rising from the cup. Man's wearing a soft flannel shirt and the newspaper's folded beside him. So again, Rev, your prompt adherence is awesome, but it's your photorealism that I'm looking for here. And really, this looks like a freshly read paper, but look at the back of his hands. I mean, those are absolutely perfect for an elderly man. Looks like he's probably used his hands a good amount in his life. So it really went for it on that one. So I love it. I thought the steam looked good. I thought just the altogether look of him with the lighting in there. You've got the blurred lights in the background. That one looks great. Kling, you did okay. You kind of copped out a little bit on the hands, so you don't actually show him holding the mug. But again, we weren't going for prompt adherence here. We were going for photorealism. And I think his face here looks just as realistic as this gentleman. That's a little more of a beard than a stubble, you'd say on this one, but you got the paper nice and folded up. You've got the lights in the background. That steam looks super realistic. It looks super hot. Maybe that's why he's not holding the mug yet, because it's so darn hot. But altogether, really good. That's why I gave it second place. Now ChatGPT again feels like it has that like sunset filter over things, and his face looks great. His stubble looks good. I think his hands look really super good. This doesn't look like a newspaper, more of like a pamphlet than anything, whereas Rev or Kling looked a bit more like a newspaper. So that's where I kind of marked it down a little bit. And then also it's just this filter that ChatGPT appears to put on everything that kind of eliminated the photorealism for me. So that's why I knocked it down to third place. So now we've got Leonardo and Grok. Now Leonardo just has a tendency to make things look a little disproportionate. I feel like his head is just a little bit big for overall on his body. I don't see any steam coming out of the mug. This isn't quite a newspaper in front of him, and I wouldn't say that soft wood grain texture. But again, it's got like a dramatic filter on it where it's not quite photo real. But again, this is subjective. So let me know in the comments if you think I missed any of these rankings entirely. And then lastly, Grok. It's okay, but again, I think it's a little bit exaggerated. His hand looks a little blurred and kind of funny there. I'm not really fully seeing the steam, maybe a little bit here, but they were all good. I mean, a year ago, I think any one of these images would have won the photorealism contest. So I'm really splitting hairs here, but Rev, I think, consistently knocks it out of the park. All right, last one, detail accuracy. So this is kind of a combination of prompt adherence and photorealism. So we've got a young woman holding a glass sphere that reflects a beach sunset with visible fingers, fingernails, accurate reflections inside the sphere. Her other hand is brushing back windswept hair. There should be tiny grains of sand on her fingertips, and the sun should be visible in both the sky and inside the sphere. And Kling absolutely nailed it. I think her nail looks good. Her fingernails are good. Her hand looks good. You've got the inverted sunset in the sphere, which is going to be more accurate. You look at a sphere like that, and it's typically going to take the image behind the sphere and invert it. So I was really happy with that detail accuracy. I think her hair looks good. Fingernails all look good. You've got some sand going on here, but Kling, I thought, really had a good-looking image. ChatGPT, again, still with that same kind of filter, but I really love the reflection that we're getting inside the sphere. The hand is going through the hair. I don't see any sand on her fingers or anything like that, but the hand looks really super good. Those fingernails look realistic. Looks great. Now, Rev, for the first time, kind of missed it a little bit. You don't see any sun in the sphere or in the background, but they actually attempted to show the woman inverted in here. But if you look really closely, her hand is going through her hair here on this one, but in the reflection, it's not. Her fingernails, though, and fingers with the sand on them, I think they look fantastic. So hands, it's come a long way generating hands, trust me. So the detail accuracy here, I was a little surprised from Rev because they typically win like every competition and shootout that I do. So I had to put them down in third. All right, so let's move on down to Leonardo. So this one, super weird that you're getting a full sunset reflection through this sphere, but if you look through it, you would actually see the woman there. The hand is okay. I'm not getting any sand details on it or anything like that. You've got some funny distortions here between a couple fingers, so that looks a little odd. The fingernail looks a little kind of broken there. Her face, though, I think looks perfect. That one's looking really, really good. But again, the photo isn't really continuous. It doesn't really show what you would actually see if you were to look through that sphere. And then lastly, Grok. Grok, what are you doing here with two hands that are kind of coming out of one? That's weird. So we're counting, we've got extra fingers and stuff happening. We do have some sand on the fingers. That's okay, but it kind of distorted the fingertip here. And again, if you look through the sphere, you'd expect to see the woman's face, but you're not. You're just seeing the sunset, and that sunset is not inverted. Now, is the sunset, does it look good in the sphere? Definitely. It looks nice and distorted in the ways that it should. So again, I could change, any of these maybe last three back and forth, but I'm pretty comfortable with the rankings. So again, please let me know in the details if you think I missed any of these rankings. But overall, let's look at the total. Drum roll, please. The winner of today's shootout is Kling. Kling is really, really impressing me across the board. I love Kling's image to video. I think it's the best one that there is. And Kling's prompt to image is fantastic. This Kling is one that's paid for, so you know. Whereas Rev typically will win all these competitions hands down, pun intended, because we're making hands in these images. Rev is completely free. So definitely the one I suggest if you don't want to spend any money on anything and you want to get high quality, photorealistic, ones that adhere to the prompt, ones that adhere to the detail. It's always good. ChatGPT, if it could just get rid of this darn coloring that happens on every one of them, I'd be pretty happy with it. But altogether, really solid performance, middle of the road. Leonardo continues to underwhelm. It missed the prompts completely. Its photorealism was pretty good, I will say, but there were definitely some things that were missed. And Grok is just kind of it had too many mistakes across the board for me today to really feel too happy about it. Now, Grok, don't get me wrong, it serves a great purpose in certain things, especially if you want an image that's maybe a little more edgy. Whereas, say, Leonardo, I actually had to change a couple prompts because it was on the other end of the scale of like, hey, there might be sensitive things in this image or explicit or things when it definitely isn't. So those two are a little bit on the frustrating side. Again, ChatGPT has got its shading on things, but Rev and Kling, they're the winners of the day. I could interchange one or two for Rev and Kling, but I was not expecting Kling to kind of take the cake here today. So please let me know in the comments what you think. If I missed any of these rankings, let me know if there's other ones like Midjourney or anything else like that you like to use, or maybe Gemini for creating images that you think maybe I should try to put into the comparison. But out of these 5 today, I'm pretty happy with this comparison. If you haven't yet, please like and subscribe. This helps Rosh and I get our word out so much and affects so many more people, and try to give this great advice on how to use these AI tools. And speaking of great AI advice, every Monday we do have the Creative AI Show that's streaming on all the popular podcast platforms. Also right here on our YouTube channel, so an extra benefit to liking and subscribing. You could check that out every Monday. Rosh and I talk 20 to 30 minutes about all the ways we've been using AI throughout the week and all the ways that we've been using it to affect our creative and business endeavors. So until then, we are two creative guys talking AI.